Here cometh thy swift kick to the dick. Brought to you by yours truly. I'm Ray Stone, and today is November 6th. Thursday, November 6th. 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving. And you know it'll be here in a snap. Ah, here comes the news. Let's start it off with some good news. In the ocean, bizarre deep-sea creature named a death ball sponge discovered in remote corner of the planet. This is a carnivorous sponge. So, just when you thought sponges were safe. It's wild. I've done a bunch of scuba diving, and I absolutely love it. One of my favorite things is at night, the coral comes to life, and all the sponges come creeping out of the coral. And it's all one big living, breathing organism. The coral's growing, the sponges catch stuff. Everything's carnivorous in the ocean, duh, except for gigantic whales. Next up, archaeologists uncover a 5,500-year-old ritual landscape in Jordan. And here's what they said about it. It seems ritualistic. From the early days, from the dawn of civilization, and their big takeaway was, yeah, seems like they're doing rituals in here. Next, polar bear gleefully eating a 1,400-pound pumpkin. For the record, the polar bear weighs 1,200 pounds. So the pumpkin is 200 pounds heavier than the polar bear. And there were a bunch of photos, one of which the polar bear is laying on its back like my dog does. And I was just thinking, that bear's going to have some orange poop. I mean, that bear is going to have orange-ass poop. Poland secured return of gorgeous artwork from Danish auction stolen during World War II. Okay. I don't know why that makes news, that if you steal something during World War II and then it resurfaces, that's newsworthy. Yeah, fine. Okay. Residents in Australia are dealing with a 200 million migrating crabs, Christmas crabs. Now, I've seen these same crabs. I thought they were called clown crabs because they're very brightly colored when I was down in Costa Rica a few years back. And they're just all over the place, just overrun the house. Just go walk through the house that we were staying in and just be crabs all over the place. They're wily little creatures. And lastly, in the good news, November's full beaver supermoon peaks today, and it will be the year's biggest. So, full beaver. Enjoy your full beaver today. Full beaver moon. Shit, Melody gave me a full beaver moon just the other day. When I was on a business call, actually. Okay, moving into Wall Street Journal. Oh, I can't remember who this is, but FAA orders 10% cuts in flights at several airports as shutdown drags on. Some of the busiest airports, they are reducing the flights because they don't have people to run the air traffic control. I mean, what good is a government shutdown? It's like, oh, I know what good it is. You're trying to hide your buddies. You're trying to hide the fact that your buddies were in. You're trying to hide that Jeffrey Epstein. That's what. NPR. Wall Street reckons with life under Zoran Mamdani. How funny is it? This is how the world works. People push back. You can only lie to them and stuff shit down their throats for so long before they say, we would rather try anything other than you fuckers again. But I love that billionaires spent $40 million campaigning against Zoran Mamdani, and he still won because the voice of the people have chosen. It's wild to me that they call him a communist. The Speaker of the House tried to say that, don't let me get ahead. Nancy Pelosi, ex-speaker, announces her retirement at 85. She should have been retired for a long time, but she announces her retirement at 85. She had to make her cool $500 million before she was ready to leave, for the good of the people. She had to make a cool $500 million for the people. before she could leave. It was for the people that she did that. I don't see her handing that back out. Anyway, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson tried to spin and say that Nancy Pelosi's retirement was because of Zoran Mamdani. He said even Nancy Pelosi can't stand him. She's retiring. She doesn't work in a state. She's not representative of New York. Johnson, you fucking smarmy cunt. Will somebody please punch him? Somebody please just open hand slap him in public on TV so that we can all watch how fucking flimsy he is. God damn. I think these guys should have to fight. I think that if you're going to be a congressman, we have to at least include something from the ancient history that is in our DNA, and that is the fittest. It is survival of the fittest. The alpha leads the pack, not these fucking smarmy beta bitches. Mike Johnson, go fuck yourself again and again and again. Dow Jones drops 400 points as AI stocks resume their decline. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. You can only have your stocks go up so fast, so much before they so retreat. It's what they do. They don't have any choice. Stocks go down after they go up like that because somebody's going to sell when it's way up there. And the person that starts the sell, they probably have a big enough chunk that it actually affects the stock, and then everybody else jumps off. And then that person that sold first, the person who has enough to actually affect the stock, buys in when it's way down here again. And then it gets back up there again. They keep doing it. The smart people do it like that. Maybe that's why you should try to do it like that. Let's see here. 9 people missing from the UPS plane crash, Louisville mayor says. Apparently it was 50, and then they've got it down to 9. Maybe it was 25, down to 9. But this UPS cargo plane crashed in Louisville, and I guess one of its engines caught fire and then fell off. It's a 34-year-old plane. Said it was in for major repairs like last week or last month or something. And it's going to need some more major repairs. Shit. Jeffrey Epstein, still in the news. And this is what the government shutdown's all actually about. They are trying to make sure that the government stays shut down long enough so that they can gerrymander the actual vote to release the Epstein files. It's why Grijalva, Arizona is not represented right now because they haven't sworn in Representative Grijalva, who has been elected. This is 41 days ago. I mean, does she get to serve an extra 41 days after this? Or, I mean, how does this work, guys? I think that when they resume, they should have to go back and let her introduce things for 40 days prior. All the stuff that she would have gotten time to speak on, they should give her that time now. But House panel requests interview with Andrew in Jeffrey Epstein investigation. And let's see if he has responded. In a letter pushed off Thursday, California Congressman Robert Garcia, the formal request to answer questions comes week after Mountbatten Windsor was stripped of his royal title. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, that's what they're calling him now. Formerly Britain's Prince Andrew. He did not respond to requests. A little further, BBC News, Starmer warns consensus is gone after fighting climate change as leaders gather at COP30. You know, I remember seeing something about the climate change thing, and one of the conspiracies behind one of the theories behind what would be a conspiracy, if it is a conspiracy, to tell us all to be afraid, is to keep us all a little bit afraid of a ghost that we can't actually fight. You know, you can't fight climate change. The climate is always changing. We do have some effect on it, I think, but we don't know what Earth will actually do all by itself. So is Earth naturally warming or naturally cooling all by itself? Seems to be it's naturally warming. A lot of people think it would be more dangerous if it was naturally cooling. You know, they're trying to say that there's X amount of CO2 before it snap freezes overnight. And it's like, yeah, I don't really know if that's how it works. And I don't think anybody else does either. It's wild to me to say, yeah, we dug a hole in the earth and then we examined the samples that we see and we can tell you exactly what happened. It's like, no, I don't believe you. I don't believe you, just like I don't believe you can actually see across space They're saying that they can, with the Webb telescope, look across space and see to the beginning of the universe. And if that's the case, then they're actually able to see faster than light because they're catching the beginning of the universe as it reaches its outer reaches. And it's like, if that's the case, they're actually looking across all of time itself. So don't give me that shit. I mean, the fact is we don't actually know. I do think it's crazy that we burn all this oil. We have been doing it continuously for 100 years. And it seems like it just off-gasses into space. We probably leave giant cavities under the Earth, and those cavities become giant sinkholes. And it will probably move continents a little bit. But maybe it seems like also potentially Earth is making more oil. We don't know what this is. Some people think it's flat. Okay, moving on. The Hill. Speaker Johnson, this fucking cunt again, warns against giving platform to anti-Semitism after Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes interview. To say that it's anti-Semitic, it just tells me, anybody who claims that you're an anti-Semitic person tells me you're on the take from AIPAC. You're on the dole from Israel. It's not anti-Semitic to have opinions where... It's not anti-Semitic to have opinions on facts. You can have opinions on facts without it being anti-Semitic. That would be like saying it's anti-black if I have an opinion on anything that black people do. I'm not black, but I'm also not anti-black for having opinions. It would be like saying I'm anti-self for having opinions on things that I have done that I'm not proud of, that I would like to change. I am not anti-self. I am pro-regulation. I am pro-fixing things that are broken, that I have broken. So, quit it. Quit it with you're obvious. You're obvious. Government shutdown live update says Senate talks continue over deal to resolve impasse. They are trying more stuff, and it's not working. I did like this. Senator Kennedy pushes a plan to halt Congress pay during government shutdowns. He proposed 2 bills. He introduced 2 bills to vote on. One says they don't get pay for the time that they're shut down, and they're not reimbursed for lost pay once the government resumes. The other bill was they don't get paid while they're shut down, but they do get reimbursed for lost pay after the shutdown, which that wouldn't be lost pay at all because these guys have plenty of money. They're taking donor money, so they clearly have extra money. They shouldn't get paid at all if you're shut down. If I don't show up to work, I don't get paid. It's very simple. You and I are exactly the same. We don't show up to work, we don't get paid. They don't show up to work, they don't get paid. But also, if the government isn't working, they don't get to collect taxes for those days. How about that? That'll keep the shutdowns from happening. You don't get to collect taxes for the 37 days. That's a month. That is a lot. That is, we're edging 1/12 of your taxes. Imagine you get to keep 10% of your taxes because they were closed down. Wouldn't that be amazing? I mean, shoot. And last up, I just wanted to Google a little bit of Moscow. I haven't checked on it. Embarrassment in Moscow as Ukraine's daring strikes hit deep targets inside of Russia. This is 4 years almost. We're going on almost 4 years. And that's a lot of weapons deployed. The only ones making any money are the people making the weapons. Let's wake up. The only reason you want war is to make money off of the weapons. I say if you want war that bad, you have to go fight it yourself. You don't get to tell other people to go fight it. You go fight the war yourself. Like we shouldn't be sending anything over there. Every weapon we send should come with a congressman attached to it. Okay, well, that's it. We're keeping it short and sweet, just like it's meant to be. Go ahead and pull your shorts back down to their normal levels. Consider yourselves swiftly kicked in the dick by the news. My name's Ray Stone. We will see you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye.